Picture this, a Catholic high school in the early 2000s. Flip phones, dial-up internet, and enough religious guilt to power a small city. Meet Alice, a 16-year-old good girl who's never questioned anything in her life. She wears her purity ring like a badge of honor. She leads prayer groups, volunteers at church, and thinks impure thoughts are what happen when you forget to say grace before dinner. But Alice is about to discover something that will shake her world, literally. It starts innocently enough. Alice is lying in bed one night, shifting around, trying to get comfortable. She moves her leg a certain way and, whoa. Something feels really, really good down there. She freezes. What was that? She tries it again. Oh my God, literally, oh my God. Alice has just discovered her own body, and she has no idea what to do about it. The next morning, Alice sits in religion class, squirming in her seat. Father Murphy is droning on about temptation and sin. Alice can't concentrate. All she can think about is that feeling from last night. She raises her hand. Father Murphy, what exactly counts as, touching yourself? The entire class turns to stare. Father Murphy's face turns redder than communion wine. Well, Alice, he stammers, any inappropriate touching is a mortal sin that leads straight to hell. Alice's stomach drops. She's going to hell for moving her leg weird? This seems excessive, even for Catholic school. That weekend, Alice goes on a religious retreat. She's determined to pray away whatever sinful urges are plaguing her. The retreat is led by Father Murphy and a bunch of overly enthusiastic youth counselors who act like Jesus is their personal best friend. Alice tries to focus on the spiritual activities. Prayer circles, trust falls, singing hymns around a campfire. But her mind keeps wandering. Especially when she notices how the cute counselor's arms look when he's playing guitar. During free time, Alice decides to use the retreat center's computer. She tells herself she's just checking email. But curiosity gets the better of her. She types in some, let's call them educational search terms. What she finds blows her innocent mind. Apparently, what she's been experiencing has a name. And it's not just normal, it's practically universal. Alice stares at the screen in shock. The internet is telling her that literally everyone does this, and it's not sending them all to hell. But then disaster strikes. Father Murphy walks in just as Alice is deep in her research. The screen is full of, well, let's just say it's not Bible verses. Alice! Father Murphy gasps, looking like he's seen the devil himself. What are you doing? Alice slams the laptop shut so hard she's surprised it doesn't break. I was just researching for a school project, she squeaks. Even she doesn't believe that excuse. Father Murphy's disappointment is palpable. He makes Alice kneel and pray for forgiveness while he calls her parents. Alice's world is crumbling. Her reputation as the perfect Catholic girl is over. The ride home is silent and mortifying. Alice's mom keeps sighing dramatically. Her dad won't even look at her. They're acting like she committed murder instead of just learning about her own body. Back at school, word has spread. Alice walks down the hallway and feels everyone staring. Her best friend Laura approaches with a mix of concern and morbid curiosity. Is it true you were looking at, on the church computer? Laura whispers. Alice wants to disappear into her locker. It's not what everyone thinks, Alice protests. But how do you explain that you were just trying to figure out if you're going to hell for having normal human feelings? Things get worse when Alice's mom schedules a meeting with their priest. Alice sits in the confession booth, trying to explain her sins to Father Murphy. The whole conversation is so awkward that Alice considers becoming Protestant just to escape. My child, Father Murphy says solemnly, these urges are natural, but acting on them outside of marriage is forbidden. Alice wants to scream. She didn't even know what she was doing had a name, and now she's getting lectures about marriage? But here's where Alice starts to get fed up. She begins noticing the hypocrisy everywhere. The same adults lecturing her about purity are gossiping, lying, and judging others. Her youth group leader, who preaches about avoiding temptation, keeps checking out the female counselors. Alice starts asking uncomfortable questions. If God made her body, why is it sinful to understand how it works? If these feelings are natural, why is everyone acting like they're evil? Her rebellion starts small. She stops wearing her purity ring. She questions things in religion class. She even talks back to Father Murphy when he gets particularly preachy. The final straw comes during a school assembly about abstinence. The speaker is going on about how girls who explore their sexuality are like used chewing gum. Alice stands up in front of the entire school. "That's ridiculous," she announces. "We're not chewing gum. We're human beings trying to understand ourselves." The auditorium goes dead silent. Alice gets suspended, of course. But something amazing happens. Other girls start approaching her. They share their own stories, their own confusion, their own guilt about perfectly normal feelings. Alice realizes she's not alone. She's not broken. She's not going to hell. She's just a teenager figuring out who she is, and that's actually pretty normal. In the end, Alice doesn't lose her faith entirely. But she learns to separate spirituality from the shame and guilt that adults have piled on top of it. She keeps what serves her and questions the rest. The movie ends with Alice more confident, more self-aware, and definitely less concerned about what Father Murphy thinks. She's learned that growing up means asking hard questions, even when the adults don't want to answer them. Sometimes the most rebellious thing you can do is simply accept yourself exactly as you are. Alice discovers that God probably has bigger things to worry about than a teenage girl trying to understand her own body. And honestly, that's a pretty beautiful lesson wrapped up in one hilariously awkward coming-of-age story.